Hey everyone, I'm Alanah. Welcome to my channel, where today we are reacting to more Cyberpunk content. This is Night City Wire episode 4. I have already seen this, but it was under different circumstances. I was hosting the post-show for Twitch Gaming, which means that, you're kind of watching and taking notes at the same time. So this is me actually getting to absorb it for the first time. Very excited. Full disclosure, before anyone starts watching, I am in the game, so extremely biased where it's concerned. Don't buy it because I like it. That is not what I'm telling anyone to do here. But yeah, let's do it. Let's watch the thing. I love these. I'm a huge fan. So cool to have constant updates about all the questions you have. I think it's a really cool idea. Still love the song. Okay.
Welcome to Night City Wire.
Hello, Holly.
4,
Very excited.
At CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to start today's episode by giving you a look at just some of the vehicles you might procure during your time in Night City.
I know that much.
And having a chat to senior vehicle artist Paul, who's going to give us a little bit more information before we take you behind the scenes and a look at the lengths the teams have gone to bring vehicles to life. We're also going to have news on an exciting collaboration. Then we're going to be talking about fashion and styles in Night City before we recap the incredibly talented finalists in our Cyberpunk cosplay contest.
The style I love.
We'll then wrap up today's episode with some news about Stadia. There is a lot to talk about, so let's get started.
Hell yeah. Yeah, when I played it, one of the things that really stood out to me was the styles, literally, just how different everyone looks.
In a huge open world like Night City, you need a chill ride to get around fast. And in Cyberpunk 2077, there are tons of cool vehicles to choose from.
Get this. 4-liter engine, 6-cylinder, goes from 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds. You fucking believe that?
Pretty good. So pretty. My God.
We've crafted every car and motorbike with amazing attention to detail.
I didn't get to ride a bike. I'd love to try that too.
Not to mention the interior.
Did try a few different cars.
You can expect everyone not only to look unique, but to deliver a unique driving experience.
Didn't love it, like didn't adore it, but I know they were still tweaking
Alright, show me what you got.
Don't expect advanced tech or luxurious materials here. Nuh-uh.
I do like an old car.
Yeah, it's not the size that counts, I guess.
You ready?
This class is mostly utility vehicles and low-end clunkers made for every pocket.
Hold on. It's a wreck. That's me.
My damn wreck.
Well, definitely no guy or girl magnet.
It's crazy.
If you need to impress,
I didn't know they were going to do that.
This class alone.
And then I watched it live, and I've watched that once since so that I could clip that bit out. But that is some of my dialogue from in the game.
Forget about the fight.
With these wheels, no expense has been spared, no frill ignored. Their plush interiors decked out in all the latest tech, while you get to sit back and enjoy the ride. Masterful engineering and practical design. Trucks and tanks for when you need power and brute force.
Probably not so much my style. That thing's pretty cute though.
Neat beast. My pride and joy.
And these monsters are literally unstoppable.
Literally? Literally?
These are for chooms who love the smell of exhaust and the roar of street wildlife.
That's me.
Their powerful engines and exchangeable parts make them perfect for tuning.
Come on! I want to smell that choo-choo
So, for the record, we did confirm that there isn't car customization. She says perfect for tuning, but
whether
there are
it's
different
street
kinds
racing,
of the same car,
running
but
from the
there is not car
NCPD,
customization.
or just showing off in the streets. With these high-powered beasts, you will have
Miles
only
Tost, the level
respect.
designer, about that
Oh yeah, like that!
on the post show.
If you need speed and armor, the Hypercar
Hypercar
class
too.
is for you. It means precise bodywork, built-in LiDAR arrays, and really expensive materials.
Imagine you're sitting on a pile of eddies. Probably less than 1,000 people in the world can afford the erudite.
Not your typical urban vehicle.
They will take you places you never dreamed you'd go. Oh, and original vehicles are not all you'll find in 2077. We also found room on our roster for some true automotive icons.
Something that I want to talk about, just to...
V.
Let me pause this real quick, Walt. before we get to the next segment. So I've interviewed like a number of devs about how they get cars to look realistic in game. And this isn't even related to Cyberpunk, just in general. One of the first interviews I ever did was with someone who's working on Forza. And you can see it, like, in the hood of that. It's probably not going to be easy for me to find because YouTube scrubbing is not that great. But developers will intentionally add imperfections to cars to make them look realistic, because if you see a car in Forza Motorsport or a Gran Turismo, for example, or like, I mean, really anything Project Cars, any of them, really, and it doesn't have any smudges or marks or, you know, inconsistent paint or anything, you will identify it as not being real. So they intentionally put a little scratch or a little smudge or a little discoloration somewhere so that it looks more realistic, which I just thought was really interesting, and that is like consistent across car franchises, which is, I don't know, super cool. I guess that's how our brains work, which, you know, that just made me think of that because we just saw a car covered in scratches. So let's continue. I already have it, fam.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us. I think it's fair to say we've come a really long way from Roach in The Witcher, so there's a lot to talk about.
Yep, there's a lot to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's start with the various classes of different cars, because in the video we saw there were things like economy and luxury vehicles. But can you tell us a bit more about their kind of design philosophy? What does each kind of class offer when people are driving them around Night City?
Absolutely. Depending on the variation of the car that you're either buying or stealing, depending on your flavor, yeah, you'll notice that they don't just look different, but they'll also drive different and feel different. If you're buying or stealing a nice fancy looking sports color version of a car, you'll notice that it drives, you know, faster, sounds a little bit more punchy and sporty.
I think I drove two cars for the record, and they did feel pretty different.
Of that same car.
That's what they mean.
It can have
different
solar
versions of the same
panels
car
tied to the roof, or some other pipes that are
But yeah,
hot
no customization.
wiring, some other, you know, cyberpunk components in your car. And well, you know, if it looks cheap, it probably drives cheap too.
So it seems that not only do the cars look good on the outside, but there's an awful lot of detail on the inside as well. Things like the dashboard. So can you tell us more about that? Because I know if you find a Quadra Type 66 in the city, it's going to look totally different from the Quadra Type 66 that the gangs are driving out in the Badlands, both outside and inside.
Yep, definitely. If you're about to steal a very nice high-end car, for example, when you get in, you'll see the dashboard light up nicely. You'll see your dial indicators revving a little bit.
Does look pretty good.
That may not exist for a junk version at all. It may have the dashboard ripped out completely. No matter what your flavor is, you'll find something that suits your needs.
So what about racing then? Will there be racing? Because I know people have been asking.
We did confirm that.
Yes, we're absolutely going to have several races in the game. Different locations. If you know you're going to be driving in the Badlands, maybe bring a Nomad car, because it's just built to driving in the Badlands. But if you know you're going to be racing in Night City,
Nomads.
just bring
My
the
people.
hottest wheels you've got, because you're going to need all the power you can get. No matter where you're racing though, you need to bring a gun, because this is Night City and you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, so you talk about bringing cars then. Let's talk about like storing and calling cars, because we know people can steal them. But what if somebody's found a car and they absolutely love this particular one? Is there a way for players to kind of build that collection? And then how do they actually, you know, summon them?
Well, summoning cars works pretty much the same as you would summon Roach in The Witcher 3.
It's like exactly the
Your
same.
transportation
Except
may
it
or
works
may not
better.
show up on a roof somewhere.
There you go.
But you know, we're still working on fixing some bugs here and there. But yeah, if there's a car that you really, really like very much, if you can't wait to own a Quadra or a Type 66, you'll get a message from your fixer and says, hey, I've got a Quadra for sale for you, you want to buy it? All you have to do is drive over, pay the money, and you've got your very own Quadra. Not to mention that every single vehicle that you buy, every single player vehicle, is absolutely unique in every way. It's got a unique interior, unique exterior, paint job. You know, it'll sound different, but it'll also handle different.
So in the video...
Sorry, Holly, to cut you off there. I do also want to say another thing that I believe we spoke to Miles Tost about, who was lovely, by the way. Just really liked him. Every dev I've spoken to at CD Projekt Red has been lovely. But you had this conversation maybe a month ago that was resurfaced this week. In Cyberpunk, it would take you a really long time to collect every single vehicle, but you can, in theory, be a car collector. That could be something that you would do, which I think is going to be really cool when the game comes out and we get to see what kind of different approaches people are having to what they want to actually accomplish in the world. but I believe they said that if you've just stolen a car off the street, you don't automatically get to keep it, which is why this conversation is more about specifically, like, you have to buy cars that you really like, that you really want to keep. If you just steal it temporarily, you won't immediately get to store it. But yeah, to the part about summoning like Roach, it really is exactly like that. You just, it's on the D-pad, I believe, and it'll just show up. Or it'll be pinged on the map so you know that it's nearby and you can go find it.
We did mention
That's
there was
space
for a true automotive icon. Do you want to reveal what that actually is?
Of course. The car in question here is Johnny Silverhand's car. And Johnny Silverhand is, well, he's a big rocker boy and he needs some wheels to match. So we gave him a 911 Porsche from 1977, which means in 2077, Johnny's car is going to be exactly 100 years old.
I love that.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for your time today. Personally, I think I'm going to try and balance being a super cool badass mercenary and driving a Mai Mai, because I love that little car. I think I could do it, right? I could be cool and in a Mai Mai.
Definitely. Mai Mai is absolutely cool as long as you stay on the road and not on the sidewalk.
I'll try my very best. We'll see. In past episodes, we've said that music plays a huge part in bringing Night City to life, but it's not just music. Our teams went to incredible lengths to recreate and capture the sounds that really bring these vehicles to life. I mean, they might have had some fun driving them.
I love learning about this stuff.
I'm pretty sure that's just a perk of the job.
I feel like every time that I've like been to a studio or like even a preview event or whatever, and they talk about sound design, as someone who, I guess I studied it very briefly in university, it was one of the subjects that I took for 6 months, but outside of that, I just think it's so interesting the way that this stuff is done. Like I think I might have mentioned on the live stream even, like the way they do it for Call of Duty. It's crazy.
We started with the
so
visuals,
cool.
And then we wanted to like attach a proper sound to the visuals so that you have like a nice feeling or the nice vibe of the complete car. And then we moved on to organizing the whole thing. Early on, we made the decision that we are going to record on the racetracks, and then we are going to record cars in movement. We started cooperation with Tomek Choki, who is like very, very well-known racing driver in Poland. That's really a nice sensation when you're driving with a racing driver and then he pushes the car to the limits. Like you can feel the G's with the braking and tight cornering, and you can feel the car actually like bending the laws of physics. We wanted to record a broad spectrum of cars, so we started with the powerful muscle cars, and then we went to more screaming V6s, inline 6s, and then we went to V10s. We wanted to grab the off-road cars. We of course grabbed some drift cars, just to have the more aggressive character in the cars. We had to assemble a sound group or a sound team that would make the placing of the mics process very, very fast, because we had plenty of cars to do in a short time span.
We had the team of mechanics from a rally team, and they helped us immensely. What they've done, they've allowed us to put the microphones into places that we wouldn't be able to access differently. Putting a mic right in the car. How careful you have to be with this, they helped us to locate the places that are
turning
best.
the engine on.
Usually place 3 microphones in the engine bay, 3 microphones in the exhaust, and 2 microphones in the car. Cars are very, very complex in terms of sound, and it's very difficult to get all the necessary components.
I think it's so cool.
That you have to make it sound believable.
But we were trying to look for something that would give us the character of the engine.
I did mention that I found the choice of a Porsche 911, which is a car I really like, by the way. I've driven a 911, I really like it. Strange for Johnny Silverhand.
Actually have in the nowadays car.
But apparently that is consistent
to be futuristic.
Apparently that is consistent with Cyberpunk lore, which, for the record, I've actually been like sort of avoiding. So like, obviously, it's not a new IP. This is an IP that CD Projekt Red have adopted from an old tabletop RPG. And I've kind of avoided learning too much about Cyberpunk lore myself so I can experience it fresh for the game. And then I feel like once that's happened, I will go back and try to discover more of the lore and like piece together a lot of different things. But I did want to give a shout out to, I believe her name is Mad Queen here on YouTube, who's a YouTuber who is like goes very in depth about Cyberpunk lore. I'll leave a pinned comment below, but yeah, again, I've avoided watching her stuff because I want to not know, I guess. But yeah, that is worth noting. I do know that one tidbit, that is Johnny Silverhand's existing car, or he already drove a Porsche. Because I was like, would he drive a Porsche? I don't know if that's true, but I suppose that he did. Okay, sorry. Back to the video.
Sci-fi-ish sounding. We want them much more organic, much more down to earth, something that would represent the combustion engine. And on top of that, we added small elements like the futuristic horns or like a futuristic UI of a car. It makes you feel like you are in a car of the future, and some car might talk to you, other car might have blips and bobs that will
I like that
make you
they
feel
stay
like
with
you're in
combustion
a
engines.
futuristic vehicle.
So many things advanced, obviously, like human intervention is concerned, but I think it would have been a little bit too boring if every car was an electric car. Obviously, we want that in the real world.
Very close to
Better for the environment.
Mike set up in the lore.
But
early on, we decided to record Johnny's
don't feel like they care
original
about
car,
that
which
too
is
much.
Porsche 911 930 from 1977.
We recorded on dyno in control environment in a chamber. We could put Mike in very different places. Porsche 930 that we recorded is the only car really that will be really
930 is basically
like the real
slang
car in the real world.
That is the way that this particular 911 is known as a 930.
We recorded more than 40 vehicles.
Not often do we record so many vehicles for a game that is not really a racing game.
Truth being told, this was the hardest part in my sound career, and I'm very, very proud of what we achieved with the sound team. This was something that we didn't do before, so creating the designs, creating the technology behind how the sound behaves, that's the best thing actually I ever did in my sound career.
It just occurred to me that I was in this, and I just remembered it, and I'm like, fuck.
There has been a lot of talk
so
about
cool.
cars so far.
I can't wait.
So let's take a look at another collaboration. This time with Johnny Silverhand. I mean Keanu Reeves.
The smell. The travel.
Yeah.
Journey.
Yeah, big three.
Freedom.
Big four. Smell, travel, journey, freedom.
No, it's not like deeper. Deep.
I'm Guard Hollinger.
I'm Keanu Reeves.
And we're here as representatives of Arch Motorcycle, and we're doing some
I
audio
believe
recording
Keanu Reeves
for
is co-owner
Cyberpunk
of
2077.
Arch. Sorry. Motorcycle.
Arch Motorcycle is a custom production motorcycle company. What's unique about it is that the motorcycles are built on a production platform, but each one is designed to be able to be personalized for each customer.
When CD Projekt Red approached me about doing Cyberpunk 2077, they also spoke about integrating. They were fans of, or I guess people who worked at the company were fans of Arch Motorcycle, and so they broached the idea of creating kind of specialized Cyberpunk 2077 version of the Arch Motorcycle. And I thought that was a very fine idea.
I wonder how interested in the game he is. I don't know if Keanu Reeves is much of the game. I have absolutely
a motorcycle we've designed and we've been developing.
Naturally, I'm very excited. Also in the game. My co-star Keanu and I have not discussed this particular topic yet.
was a creative inspiration for the designer, so they sort of used that as a basis and then went further. So it has a totally different, crazy-looking power plant.
We did a little customization.
It's good. I like it.
Today we're capturing sounds, getting some actual sounds of a power plant, drivetrain, and characteristics of the motorcycle, which I'm sure they will, have play with and stuff. But the source will be pure.
I really wonder how effective those particular microphones are in this situation.
Sort of a racing engine in it compared to our production motorcycles. It has a dual exhaust system. and it sounds pretty...
I don't know, genuinely, they could be. I don't know.
Sounds good.
I could definitely blindfolded tell that that's the Method 143-ish sounding motorcycle, yeah.
I can't fucking wait for this game to come out, my god. Consume me, bro.
Nature of the role-playing aspect of the game, I think it'll be cool, like, to be on a bike and hearing that, going through the city streets and getting into the madness and mayhem.
He's right, it is a role-playing game, not a GTA clone. Role-playing game. Don't forget it. People keep forgetting it.
As with all episodes of Night City Wire, if you're tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now it's time to talk about styles in Night City. Are you more kitsch or neo-militarism?
What is kitsch? Is that a thing? Is this a thing people do? But yeah, the styles really stood out to me when I played. Very, very cool.
Welcome to the brief authoritative history
it's not like other games aren't
City.
Stylish, but
this chapter is devoted to so-called styles.
I don't know that I've seen a game where the NPCs
deeply linked with the history of the world,
distinctly
and a
different
very
in style.
important aspect of life in the city.
It's really diverse.
You can find them everywhere. In cars, clothes, guns, implants. They are your war paint. As one of our sponsors says, it matters not if you're dead, as long as you're doing it in style.
I will also say, I confirm.
Swoosh, slicing them up like sashimi.
4 visual styles are evident in the Night City of 2077.
Maybe
each with its own history, status,
but
and
you can't
features.
walk around like a butcher just stealing people's augments. They decided
Neon
not to
hair,
have me
illuminated
able to do that 'cause
tattoos,
it's a bit
and
fucked up.
chrome. Function comes second. Looks are what matter.
Stanley here with you, and we got another
So colorful,
day
right?
ahead of us
I
in
like
this
it.
city of dreams.
That's what I would want. If I get any augment, get rid of
The
my
fourth
fucking
corporate
ankles.
war broke out, and entropism was born.
My feet suck.
Vast and deep crises forced people to
hurt
find ways
all
to
the
survive
time.
by any
My
means.
stupid ankles.
Getting the job done, no matter how.
Give me
was
different
the
feet from
primary
like the knee
goal.
down, please.
The look? Who cares?
I love this town. Love it like you might love a mother who popped you out on the steps of an orphanage once and now stops you to ask if you got a smoke for her.
Fuck them. Fuck this job. Fuck this city.
Deadly elegance without ostentation. Corporate militaristic fashion, mostly seen in the wealthier parts of town. Substance over style, that's the motto.
I was so curious about what that was. That, like face burning. What was it? She's romanceable. Meredith, stout.
Celebrities, brain dance stars, business magnates,
Brain dance
heirs
stars,
to corporate fortunes,
in a lot
and
of
corporate
cases,
executives.
would be porn stars
They
for the
abandoned the cold, deadly elegance of neo-militarism and returned to the roots of kitsch, but gave it a fresh, new look.
I think this is my favorite.
Shit, these hands. Sometimes it seems like I just brush something and sparks fly.
Neo kitsch. I like it. It's very extra, which is not how I dress, but I like it.
Thank you for your attention. We wish you a very pleasant stay in our marvelous metropolis. Good luck, and goodbye.
Appreciate it.
NC's Legends. Know where you'll find most of them? The graveyard. Luckily, matters not where you're from. Matters not where you start. What matters here is the walk you walk.
That looks like me, but old. already have it pre-ordered, fam.
Just before this episode started, you might have tuned in early and seen our Cyberpunk cosplay contest finale. But just in case you've missed it, we've prepared a little summary for you featuring our very talented finalists. In the Cyberpunk cosplay contest, we asked our very talented community to cosplay a character from the game based on the art, screenshots, videos, cosplay guides, etc. We thought regular trophies weren't quite cool enough, so we decided that the top 3 will receive detailed props based on weapons from the game. They have been specifically made for this occasion, and the winners can do with them as they please.
You sell them to me?
Now,
they're so
the
cool.
12 best Cyberpunk
I do have more of a collection of swords, though,
who have competed for first place in the first official Cyberpunk 2077 cosplay contest. Are you ready to meet them?
These are really cool. If you've not already seen this, they're really cool. So rad. She would be, what is it, the gang of the like militarized sex workers, which is like cool as fuck too. I don't remember what their name is. It will come to me. I forgot. That's so cool.
Now, before we wrap up today's episode, there is one
I don't know if
more
they told
thing
you.
to
The
talk
winner
about.
was Mia, who was
Previously,
Dum Dum
we
there.
announced that Cyberpunk
Took her, like, 6
2077
months to
was
make.
coming to Stadia, and today we can tell you that it is arriving on November 19th alongside other platforms, and pre-orders are starting now.
It was pretty
Night
cool for
City
Stadia.
Wire is almost over,
They
but
usually get
if
things
you
a
do
year
want
late,
just
so.
a little bit more, then stay tuned right here on the Twitch channel and join us for our post show.
That's what I hosted.
As always, don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly, and we'll be back with Night City Wire episode 5 soon. No, actually, there is one more thing we're going to show you. Welcome to the diner.
So what do you want? Supercar? Big house? You want to rule this city?
Can I get a house like that?
Well, you ain't getting
would like
anywhere
that.
without an upgrade. You need a softer touch. Stronger's fine, because taking over Night City ain't gonna be easy.
Such an interesting voice.
I'm in.
Cyberpunk 2077. Available November 19th.
All right. I think that's everything. Yeah, like I said, I love these. I love watching them. I think it's such a cool way to like dole out information. I guess we're getting one more. I don't know if I'll be hosting that, but maybe. I continue to be extremely excited about the game. And that's pretty much it. So I guess I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye, everyone.